Just let your soul glow. Just let it shine through. Just let your soul, baby, feeling oh so silky smooth. Just let it shine through. Just let your soul glow. So glow.
Love y'all, boys. Love you. Love you. I'll go to war with every single one of you every fucking game, all right? Love you, 1-7. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Win.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have me douse, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud. It be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 It's showtime.
I have no money.
Welcome to Friday Night Lights. I'm your host, Tommy, to the highest degree, to the TOP, from the 313. Normally, I would say, and by my side is my main man, my Toucan Sam, the one they call the Apex Man, Mr. Mikey. But, Mr. Mikey, leaving me hanging. Leaving me hanging. I'm here solo. You're solo. But I already knew that. I'm just playing, Mikey. If you're watching this, I know, man. Mikey took a week off. He was sick and tired of this guy right here. sick and tired of dealing with Tommy every Mondays and Fridays. And he needed a break, and I get it. And I think a lot of Bills Mafia need a little bit of a break from just the chaos of this team every single season. The same results. The Groundhog Day, speaking Groundhog Day, Phil said, what did he say, 6 more weeks of winter or something like that. So, if you're living up north, Phil the Groundhog says 6 more weeks. I think he said 6 weeks. I believe it's 6 weeks. So, yeah, so prepare, man. Prepare for 6 more weeks of winter. Let's get to some of your comments real quick. Badass wants everybody to know out there, just in case you didn't know, Pegula sucks as an owner. So just he's throwing that out there just in case you guys missed that. Badass wants to remind you guys that Pegula is just a really shitty owner. According to Badass. Now, look, I didn't say it. He said it. Scott Blakely in the house. My prediction is we trade for Addison. All right, well, we'll see. We'll see. Look, it's still early in the game. It's still early in the game. By the way, who's coming over to Beane Island? We believe in Beane Island. We'll just call it BB, right? Believe in Beane Island, all right? BB. Hashtag BB. Look, man, I'm on that fucking island, okay? I'll go down, I'll go down thinking if a tidal wave hits the island, I guess, you know what, man? I hope I can swim good enough to make it back to land. But I'm staying on that island. You guys could do what you guys wanted. You guys could do whatever you want to do, all right? But I'm staying on Believe in Beane Island. Okay? All right, here we go. Mr. Fulton, the most interesting man in the chat. Always has something interesting to say. So let's go ahead and read it. Tommy, I need prayers for my big basketball tournament called the Hamilton County Special Olympics Charge, and we're playing our first game this Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. All right, versus Wabash College. All right, well, good luck, and I hope you guys win, man. Let's see here. Go Bills, says Daniel. Pegula is a good owner. Right there, badass. Pegula. Listen, Daniel wants you to know that he's not a bad owner. He's a damn good owner. All right, so you take that, you take it to the bank. All right. Oh my God, Buffalo. I'm still here. This new direction looks determined. Yeah, obviously, yeah. I mean, I like it. I'll be honest with you. I'm on board with it, man. I wasn't a fan of the hire initially. I'm still not crazy about Joe Brady. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys. Like, I'm not gonna be that guy, right? Like that channel where it's like, well, now that I gotta deal with it, I gotta love it. No, but I'm also not going to be the guy that doesn't see some positive to it, right? Like to everything for the most part, unless it's just really, really terrible and there's no positive, then I get it. But there's some positive to this change, to Joe Brady being head coach. And really, for me, it's the coaching staff. It's not really so much Joe Brady, right? Like that I'm still not crazy about. And look, it could wind up being bad, right? It could wind up being another McDermott where we're a playoff team, but we're not a Super Bowl caliber team, right? Like, and we're in the same kind of, we're in the same kind of boat that we've been in where we're a 10+ win team, struggle against the better teams in the playoff, Chiefs, right? Pretty much, right? And I mean, Denver last year, apparently, or this year, and then get booted out, and then we're talking offseason, what we need to do, what we need to add, what went wrong, and hopefully we're not rinse and repeat with Joe Brady. That's why I said last week or Monday show, I'll give Joe Brady a two-year window. Like, that's it, man. We got about 4 to 5 years of Josh Allen's prime, right? You don't want to be fucking around with Joe Brady. If he's not the guy by year 2, if you see no promise, meaning he hasn't gotten to at least an AFC Championship game by year 2, I know it seems rushing, but we're kind of against the clock. Time's kind of expiring here on the only reason we get into the playoffs, Josh Allen. Let's be real here, guys. Like, for as much as you guys, or some of you guys, like Sean McDermott, and I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but the real reason we got into the playoffs year after year after year after year is Josh Allen, right? Takes this team on his back, right? And that's why I defend him a lot, because without this guy, we would have been a 6 to 7 win team at best. So, look, I think Brady can't do any worse. I just don't see that happening. I see us as a playoff team with Joe Brady regardless. But for me, it's the coaching staff. Can they make this team better? Can our DC, Jim Leonard, turn this around? Which I believe he will. And that's why I'm excited. Not so much about Joe Brady. It's more about the defensive side of things, which I pretty much gave up on for the last 3 years, 2 to 3 years. I was just like, fuck the defense. Let's just fix the offense, because Sean McDermott will never adjust his defense. He will never change his scheme. We're stuck with that defense, right? But now we got a new defensive coordinator. We got a different outlook. We got a different vision. We got a different scheme. It's exciting. Scott Blakely, I'm watching your podcast live, Tommy, from the BB Island. There we go. Scott Blakely is on BB Island. Believe in Beane Island. Guys, we got to make that a thing. I might even make a shirt, right? I might even go all out and put BB Island. Right? Believe in Beane Island. All right? I'm on it. Look, even Weston, who's a Chiefs fan, believe in Beane Island. He knows it. Believe in Beane Island. Beane Island, baby. Beane says, fuck the outside. You know what? I got to say, too, fans are so... Some of these fans are such crybabies. They take things so personal. Am I right on this? Come on, guys. Stop crying. Like, Beane said, fuck the fans. He didn't say that. He said, fuck the outside. The outside could be anything. It could be the national media. It could be the local media. It can be some fans. It could be other fan bases. And even if it is, if he's meaning outside the negative fans, so what? We'll go fucking get some paper towels or some fucking tissues and wipe your fucking tears. Stop being a baby. This guy has a job to do, all right? You don't want to hear you bitching and complaining. All right? You'll be just fine when he fixes things. What up, Sammy? How you doing, brother? And by the way, guys, once again, I'm solo, so you guys are going to kind of steer the ship tonight on how long this podcast goes, because I almost canceled it. I almost was like, though I go solo, I started solo. I go solo a lot, but this, you guys know, when the offseason hits, it's like, woo, finding things to talk about doesn't come easy, right? Especially around this time, because there's not too much right now. Now, when free agency hits, obviously, we're going to be talking about who's available, who we picked up, who we're cutting, and all that jazz. And then obviously the draft is always fun when we're doing our mock drafts. And then after the draft, then it goes a little slow, another slow point. So that's where I take advantage of you, the chat. So come on board and help me out with this podcast, man. You guys steer the ship, right? Good evening, Tommy, and everyone in the chat. Sandra, what up, man? I'm a fan of all the coaching moves. Look at Scott. Now, here's a great example, right? Scott Blakely, the most positive guy when the season starts. But when things go bad, boy, Scott will let you know, right? Which, hey, I'm the same way, Scott. Don't blame you, right? Listen, tell the truth. Tell how it is, right? Never bite your tongue. In life in general, right? Speak up. Look, maybe not everyone's going to agree, but who cares, right? Voice your opinion. But, Scott towards the end was, and a lot of you guys too, were still, even going into the playoffs, I don't know, right? This team, we'll see. It was one of those years, right? And I think this change, this offseason, for fans like Scott and fans like myself and some others out there that were just growing old of the same old, right? It's kind of hard for us fans, the ones that are like, come on, man, already, to go into each season with the same positive energy when it's probably going to be the same results. But you're kind of like lying to yourself in a way, and you're kind of like, looking at maybe, trying to put things over the bad and like, oh, well, we drafted this guy, or Joey Bosa might be the answer. Like, but we still kind of know, right? Like, we got Sean McDermott as coach, and, we don't have the greatest receivers still, and the defense is the same, but maybe we have a lot of maybes, right? But maybe if this happens, and at the end of the day, it's the same result. And they're going into the offseason with the same bullshit, from the coach when they talk about, when they give us the season-ending press conference that Sean McDermott normally would give us, didn't give us this year. And, and then we're here, then we're going into the next season with the same bullshit over and over and over. This change had to happen. And I think this is why, like I said, fans like Scott, fans like myself, fans like a couple of you guys that aren't still butthurt about McDermott being fired are excited about the 2026 season and beyond, because there is a brand new scheme. There's a brand new outlook. There's a brand new vision, which we haven't had here since Sean McDermott took over in 2017, right? Which was, again, was exciting times because we moved on from Rex Ryan. Obviously the drought years. It's always, change is always exciting, right? And that's why I kept telling people that were still upset about McDermott being fired, it had to be done. This had to be done, right? And I think those fans are starting to understand that, or the majority of them, they're jumping back on board, or getting on board, that is, to the new vision, the new outlook, the potential that this team could have. And that obviously is the Super Bowl. All right, let me get to your chats before I get way behind. I'm going talking here. The change of head coach needed to be made. I'm liking the new coaching staff. Yeah. Now they did keep a couple, and I'll tell you guys who they wound up keeping in a minute. I'm amped up for the changes. Yep, Sammy, me too. Yeah, we all gotta sit back and watch. Yeah, and right now, look, man, I can't predict the future, guys. I have no idea how this is all gonna work out. Right? This could be bad, and to be honest with you, for me, bad is the same, because I don't think, and I've said it numerous times, I don't think any coach that we hired would have came in here and made this team, gotten this team where we're not making playoffs, where we're back in the drought years. Like, I think any coach could have came in here and still won at least 10 games because of Josh Allen. And I truly believe that. I think if we hired Rex Ryan back, we would still be a playoff team. And I know maybe some of you guys disagree, but when you have that guy at quarterback, number 17, you're probably going to make the playoffs, right? And I don't think our roster's so bad where, all we have is Josh Allen. We have playmakers. Like, from no matter what you guys say, and I know some of you guys are like, oh, the drafts are so bad, and the free agent, and this is bad and bad and bad. Everything's bad, and Brandon Beane sucks, and he hasn't gotten anybody, no All-Pros, no Pro Bowls, blah, 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 blah. Like, stop. It's still the ultimate team game, right? Now, obviously, I go on about Josh Allen being the main reason, the guy that kind of carries the team on his back, which is true, but it still takes a team. You still need a defense. Josh doesn't play defense, right? He still needs guys to run the ball. James Cook. He still needs guys to protect him, offensive line. So there are still bits and pieces that go along with it as well. So those guys matter, right? And you can't say, Brandon Beane has just gotten trash here. You can't. Like, I hate that. I hate when people say that. It's simply not true, right? Like, I once again, I go to, just because they're not, just because they're not all pros, Pro Bowl, I don't care. I know what I'm seeing on the field. I know Spencer Brown is one of the best tackles in the NFL. Did he get an All-Pro? Is he a Pro Bowler, guys? No. Do I feel that Spencer Brown is like an All-Pro, Pro Bowler type of player? Yes. Just because he didn't get it, do you guys feel like, oh, he sucks? Oh, Spencer Brown's trash. Didn't get the All-Pro. Oh, he's garbage. No Pro Bowl. No, he's one of the better right tackles in the NFL. Osiris Torrance. Now, look, he's still young. He still has a high ceiling. I still have a lot of faith in him. He's a good player who, like I said, hasn't even reached the ceiling yet. That's another Brandon Beane draft pick, right? James Cook, the one that everybody wanted to get the extension. I didn't. I was wrong. I'll eat crow on that. I have no problem with eating crow on that. But that dude led the league in rushing. Let's not talk about that draft pick. Let's not talk about the most important one. Josh Allen. If it was up to fans, or a lot of fans, Brandon Beane would have drafted Josh Rosen. So fans that are always, boo, Brandon Beane, boo, drafted Josh Allen, boo. Same fans, right? Come on, same fans. Brandon Beane can't draft. Sorry ass draft picks. But those guys wanted Josh Rosen. Those guys. So watch what you say, please. Because the same people crying and bitching were the ones that wanted Josh Rosen as our quarterback. Really? Really? Right? And who else are we going to talk about? Groot's not a bad player. I think he could be better. Matter of fact, I think he's been not used the right way. I think, bro, Jim Leonard's going to make him a much better player. Not that he's been bad. Ed Oliver's a good pick. There's nothing wrong with Ed Oliver. Now, of course, he had the injuries, but that's not Brandon Beane's problem. That's a player that got hurt, unfortunately. Right? How about Christian Benford? Oh, no, don't talk about Christian Benford. Right? Oh, oof. He's one of the better corners in the league. He's at least a top 10. How about Cole Bishop? Oh, well, I don't want to talk about Cole Bishop. Oh, Cole Bishop. Come on, man. Come on, guys. Stop shitting on everything this guy does. But the things he gets right is like, let's not talk about that. We're only going to push all the bad shit. Let's talk about Kyrie Elam for an hour. Boogie Basham. Let's boo Boogie. Come on. I get it. He's made mistakes. What GM hasn't? It's crazy. What up, Robert? How you doing? Coulda, shoulda, Mikey. Clear was focusing on the defense now. Yep. The removal of McDermott will have a far more positive impact than most people think. Micromanaging, overbearing hard asses are never successful unless you cheat like Bill Belichick. Bro, isn't that crazy? I gotta say though, look, not a Patriots fan, obviously, but I don't hate the Patriots like a lot of you guys. It is what it is, man. They were a very good team. Now, did they cheat? Did they do some bullshit? Probably. You know what I mean? But with that being said, look, he should be in the Hall of Fame. That's kind of crappy. That's crappy by the NFL. Let's be real, guys. Let's stop the nonsense. I don't agree with that. He definitely got snubbed. Let's be real. So I don't really look. He's not my fucking coach, but I think that's bullshit. Beane needs to crush this offseason, crush free agency, and crush the draft. So I agree with that, and I'll tell you why. Even though I don't think he's done a bad job in general, like a lot of fans, a lot of people do, I think free agency has been not his strong suit. I think he's made some bad decisions, no doubt. Like if I told you guys, you got to keep it real. You got to keep it a buck, right? There's a couple areas that I feel like Brandon Beane needs to do better in, right? Free agency is one of them, right? Stop trying to, stop going to the one aisle that has all the clearance items, right? And filling up your cart, with as much as you can get with the money that's available, right? Like, that's not going to go. There's a reason why they're on clearance. You might get lucky and find an item that, right, that you're like, oh, hey, I could use this, right, or this actually worked out great. Most of the time they're on clearance because Nobody wants them. Right? Or they're shitty. They can't be used. So it's like that with the players, right? And he's just kind of like, he's done it every year. And it's like, dude, why don't you stop getting 10 guys, narrow it down, stop with the 1 year, 2 year deals. Let's get 2 players that are impactful players, spend your money on a couple players, and then if you want to go and get a couple 1 year guys, that's fine. And then get it, everything else through the draft and UDFAs. Very simple. You don't need to get all these players just to, fill the roster out. You don't have to do that. I'd rather have a couple impactful players than 9 guys that are, not going to do anything. Let's be real. I mean, look, a couple of them were successful, no doubt. Like Shaq Thompson was a good, 1 year deal, but 1 year. That's it. He's a free agent now. Will he come back? I don't know. And he's still a veteran, so how much, even if we resign him, it's going to probably only be a 1 to 2 year deal if he comes back. I'm just floating that out there. But outside of that, like Joey Bosa, look, it wasn't a bad signing, but what did it really do? 1 year deal, he's gone. Right? Ogunjobi was a waste of money. I like Hoyt. He's on a 3 year deal, I believe. But of course, he was suspended for the half of the season. Then he got hurt. He'll return somewhere during his probably week 5, week 6, maybe next year. I'm hopeful for him. I think that's a good signing. But, everybody else, Trey White, yeah, I guess you could say that was a good signing. He had a much better second half. But 1 year deal. Once again, nobody that's impactful. Nobody that's here to stay. Right? Long-term. Josh Palmer, 3 year deal. He was our biggest offseason signing. Ugh, terrible. Bleh. He has to stop doing that. And then also, I want him to be more aggressive as a general manager in general. Right? Aggressive with the draft. Aggressive with the trade deadline. Aggressive with the trades in general in the offseason. Don't hoard your picks so much. You don't need to hoard your picks. Right? I'd rather take a guy that's a for sure thing. So let's say we trade for a receiver. And let's say it's a Justin Jefferson, which I don't think is going to happen. But let's say. I don't care. Guys, I'll give up 2 first rounds. Because you don't know what you're getting in any draft. You have no idea. It could be a top 5 pick. Still could be a bust. But I know what I'm going to get from that guy. I know it because I've seen it year after year after year. I want the for sure thing that could turn my team around like that. Not a guy that I'm drafting going, uh-oh, right? Like, oh, he's off to a shaky start. Right? Now we got to maybe next year, right? Like, or he could be great right off the riff. But, at this point, we're working against the clock. And I keep telling you guys, the clock is Josh Allen's prime. And that's what, a 4 to 5 year window, right? We got to play it smart here. He has to be a little bit more aggressive. By the way, there is a poll in the chat. I'll look at it right now. So, how many games will the Bills win in 2026? Right now, we're at 31 votes. 7 to 9 wins has 16%. 10 to 13, which is a good season, not great, 47%. 14 to 15 wins, optimistic, high ceiling, that's 31%. 16 to 17, Super Bowl level, and that is 6%. So right now, 47%, 10 to 13 wins. And honestly, that's where I would be. I'm with you guys. If that stays true, I see this team winning about new coach, tough schedule. I would say 12 wins, which, guys, I'm okay with. That's playoff bound. Once you get in the playoffs, then you go from there, right? Like that's the whole name of the game, right? Get in the playoffs, get in the dance. and get hot at the right time, right? If you're a 12-win team, that's a very good year. I'll take it, especially for a first-year head coach, right? The youngest coach in the NFL at that, too. That's why Andy Reid fired McJoke when it changed his defensive scheme. Yeah, and many people don't know, but he got fired in Philadelphia. Because he got fired when Andy Reid was in Philadelphia. The reason why he got fired is because he took over, what was his name? Oh, man, I forget his name. Defensive coordinator there was there for forever. And he was super aggressive. Well, what happened was when McDermott took over, he went with that motto, but he was ultra aggressive. And teams were just killing him on the blitz. And he refused to change his ways. Then he got fired. Then he went to Carolina. And that's when he kind of, had a little middle ground there. And it was successful. But he also had Luke Kuechly, who, by the way, is in the Hall of Fame now. So he had himself a pretty good defensive unit when he arrived there, right? And guys that were drafted there. And he wasn't all bad in Buffalo. I just think it got old. And I think you have to have the right pieces to make that defense work the way he wanted. And and not only that, I feel like he also was guilty of tightening up as a coach in the playoffs. So what he showed us in the regular season on defense really wasn't what he was showing us in the playoffs, right? He got a little bit tight, got a little bit more soft zone in the playoffs. So that's on him as well. Don't blame Beane for not giving an F. I wouldn't either if I was him. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, who cares? Dude, man, I am so. Look, I get it. Like, what I do a podcast. I talk about the Bills, right? It's what I do here. I could bitch. I could complain. I could say what the fuck I want. I can give positive stuff. I can give negative. I can be down the middle. I like to say I'm down the middle. I like to say I try to be as fair as I can with all my takes, which, by the way, obviously they're just opinions. You don't have to listen, or you don't have to agree with all of them, right? I'm not trying to push them on you, but I'm also not calling, I'm not on Twitter and X just fucking right, bitching 24/7. I'm not calling radio stations just bitching 24/7. It's crazy, the amount of fans out there that are just over the top hurt on the McDermott thing. Still, it's crazy. I think it's slowing down a little bit. I would say it's settling down a little bit. Those fans, but I'll say they turned their attention on Brandon Beane. Now it's, fuck Brandon Beane. Everybody hates Brandon Beane. Okay, I think all that will change once the season gets going. Once the Bills start winning some games, once obviously free agency in the draft, But the comment earlier, I do agree in the sense that this is probably his most important offseason ever because of this fact. People like me, people like Mikey, some other people like Dan Mitchell, we all believe that McDermott kind of ran the show here, right? McDermott basically hired Brandon Beane, right? Which is kind of rare, right, in sports where the coach goes out and gets the GM. Doesn't usually work that way. And everything that was written about Sean McDermott, now look, some of it could be false. I get that. But some of it could be true. And I believe a lot of it is, actually. And everything I've seen in his press conferences and all that jazz, it just, to me, he came off a guy that's very controlling, a guy that definitely had a bigger say than Brandon Beane did throughout the years. I think what happened was towards the end, I think there was a little tug of war there, right? And ultimately what happened was I think Pegula looked at it and thought McDermott was the guy that needed to get the axe. I mean, and for me, the reason why I say this is important is because people like me that defended Brandon Beane throughout the years is if Brandon Beane goes through this offseason and has the same kind of free agency, signings, the same kind of draft, where he's not aggressive, where it's the same kind of talent that's coming out, right? Now, mind you, I still don't think his drafts have been that bad, but if they're the same, meaning there's nothing about Brandon Beane changed, then I would say, you know what I said about McDermott kind of running the show probably wasn't the case, or at least towards, Beane, right? So I do need to see something from Beane that says, okay, I really wanted to do this. Like, this is what I want. Now, now that I have full control, I'm gonna make it happen, right? Now that me and Joe Brady are on board, we're seeing eye to eye. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna show you guys what I can do here. And that's why I feel like it's a very important season. Because if he drops the ball, if free agency goes bad, sideways, right? Like, we're getting a lot of one-year signings. No trades are done. We're not aggressive in the draft. We didn't address the wide receiver position. Then I'm going to say, yeah, there's a problem here. There's a problem, and it may be a Beane problem. But for now, I'm going to go on what I believed was the case while McDermott was here. And that's why I believe in Beane. And that's why I believe in Beane Highland, man. You don't get a pulse on the city. The Bills pulled the coverage from our local sports stations. Look, talk to Terry Bagula on that, bro. You know what I mean? Like, that has nothing to do with Brandon Beane. That has nothing to do with any the coaches or anything like that. Here's the deal, bro. Let's be real. We're going to talk about Terry Bagula and most business owners in general, NFL owners or whatever. It's all about this. It's all about money, right? They're doing this because of money. They're not doing this because they hate WGR or because Brandon Beane and WGR had the thing last year. Like, that has nothing to do with it. This is all has to do with money, right? And I don't agree with it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, man. And just like the fact that Terry Bagula trademarked Bills Mafia, nobody talks about that. Nobody gives a fuck about that anymore. But to me, that's shittier than this. He took Bills Mafia, a thing that was created by the fans, a thing that was created by Del Reed and a couple of friends, right? That was a fan thing, had nothing to do with the Buffalo Bills. Terry Bagula didn't make it up. Player didn't make it up. A GM didn't make it up. Nobody in that organization had anything to do with the term Bills Mafia. Bills Mafia is the fans. But yet, Terry Bagula saw this and said, oh, it's not trademarked? Whoa, wait a minute. Boom, trademark. That's my shit. Money, money, money. And fans were a little upset for about, 3 months in the offseason. I think that happened in the offseason. Nobody talks about it anymore. Nobody cares. People get over it, and people are going to get over this. They're going to have a way for you to listen to the game, right? And you are. And WGR is going to be around, right? So they're not going anywhere either. So, yeah, you want to talk about unfair, talk about the term Bills Mafia being taken by Terry Bagula, who's making millions from it. Millions. And will continue to make millions from the name Bills Mafia with shirts and hats, right? So come on, man. Like people get over it, and you're going to get over this. I'm not defending the guy. I'm just saying. Fans will get over it. For real, everyone is pissing and moaning. It's so annoying. We all want the same thing. No reason to be mad. None of us control shit. Yeah, exactly. None of us control shit. Pagula sucks as an owner. Badass is back again. He wants you to know. Pagula sucks. That's what it is. Go Seahawks. Yeah. I'm rooting for the Seahawks, though. You know, look, I don't care. Like, I really don't care that much where if the Patriots win, I'm going to, you know, cry about it. Like, it is what it is. But I'll root for the Seahawks. Woohoo. Hey, May, no MVP for you. Yeah, he lost it by 1 vote. And what's funny is Josh Allen, I believe, got 2. So if Josh Allen didn't get those 2 votes, maybe Drake May wins. It's very possible, which is kind of funny. So Josh Allen probably took away May's MVP. Just throwing that out there. Not a lot of people talking about that, but it's a possibility that those 2 votes go to Drake May. Yeah, so it's kind of funny, man. Speaking of old cut Teron Johnson, cut Ty Johnson. They talked about it a little bit. Jim Leonard, which I'm gonna show you guys some clips of Jim Leonard. So he had some interesting. He did like a press conference. He had some interesting stuff to say. He did talk about Ty. And finding a place for him on the team. You know, obviously he said good things about Ty Johnson. I'm sorry, not Ty Johnson. Why am I saying Ty Johnson? Teron Johnson. They might find a place for Teron. Teron's a good player. He had a little bit of rough year this year. But they might find a place for Teron. Let's not say Teron's out just yet. Ty Johnson maybe. And if he is, can you please either draft or sign a bruiser running back? Like a 6'2", you know, north to south running back, a guy that can get you a couple yards without having to use Josh Allen every single play on short yardage or goal line. Can you just get a bruiser back? Like, stop with the small backs. We have one, James Cook. We have another in Ray Davis. Give me a big bruiser. That's all I need. That's it. And you're going to, by doing that, you'll also, you know, help out Josh Allen's, Josh Allen's career, right? By not taking so many unnecessary hits. Just saying. But hey, you know. Oh, and by the way, you know, Sean McDermott hated the tush push, though. We used it a million times. A guy that wanted it banned, and yet that was like our go-to play on short yardage. It's like unbelievable. Robert, Tommy, I feel people are going to be surprised at how much coaching staff was holding the Bills back. Robert, I agree. I do. And I think more so the defense. I think the defense is going to look way different, way better. I can't wait. And I even think players that were on this team that, like I said, that some fans were like, Groot, you know, Rousseau, he's not a good, we're wasting our money. Like, I think that guy is going to blossom under Jim Leonard's system. I really do. And then fans are going to be like, hey, I told you, Gregory Rousseau, good player. Just like the same fans who were like, boo, Josh Allen, boo. Right? They're going to be like, hey, Josh Allen, woo, wait. Oh, my God. I still laugh my ass off, Tommy, when you went to the draft in Detroit, stood there all fucking day and night, and they traded the first. So, not really. So, Scott, that was a disaster. So, I'll say this. I had a good time going to the draft. It was a unique experience. It's free. I would say this. If you're in shape or you're a younger person and you could stand for that many hours like a sardine, right, in a can sardine, where you're just like then yeah, bro, it's awesome, right? It's a fun event. But I'm out of shape. I'm older, and when it got to that point where it was getting close to draft time, and you had to be by the stage, there was no way, and I winded up squeezing my way out of there and walking to the casino, and bro, I sat down, ate food at a restaurant, and I watched the draft on TV. My friend stayed, the whole time squished right by this, where the draft was taking place, and I couldn't do it. I just could not do it. I'll say this though: everything else before that was fun. Walking around, seeing all the different fan bases that showed up, so it was cool. I still had a good time. But then you're right, we didn't draft anybody in the first round. So it was a bit of disappointment. But I'll never do that again unless I have like seating. Like, you know what I mean? Because if you paid, there was like there's like areas but it's super expensive. And I wasn't gonna pay. I don't have that kind of money. Roy, what's going on, Roy? It sucks when you go into a season expecting disappointment because you're becoming acclimated to it. Yeah, I agree. Like, it does suck. I understand that. Like, but like, of course, most fans try to see the positive light or something positive, right? Going into a season that maybe pushes that negativity away of, well, this probably is going to be the same results, the same, we're going to have the same talks in the offseason. But the reality was, until we got rid of McDermott, we were going to have these offseason talks like we're having today. But we're having a better one because we don't have McDermott anymore. McDermott is gone. And I'm excited. I am excited for the future, but you're right. Like I'm with you. It kind of sucks knowing that the same results are more than likely going to happen, and you shouldn't feel that way, but in a way, you kind of know it to be true. But look, man, that's why the change needed to be made. Can we talk about Carmichael hire? I feel we could have done better, but young Joe Brady with older, experienced coaches, I'm 50-50. Which is worrisome. I'm not like totally sold on Carmichael either. He has a ton of experience. He's only worked with one team, with the Saints, at least as far as I know. And I think he called plays 1 year and it was not good. But he's not calling plays here. He's just OC. Joe Brady's calling plays, which, by the way, I'm still not thrilled about. I didn't think Joe Brady did a great job calling plays last year, to be honest with you. A lot of predictable plays, right? A lot of vanilla type, schemes going into the game plan. But we'll see. I mean, maybe Carmichael brings something different. I know he's in charge of game script, so maybe that does different, and Brady will just be the guy calling the plays, not so heavily involved in game script. We'll find out, but I am a little concerned about that. But he has a ton of experience. He worked with Sean Payton for many, many years. And obviously him and Brady have, chemistry. They've worked together. So we'll see. The offense is a little concerning. I'm not going to lie, because I'm not totally sold on Joe Brady. Carmichael is whatever. We'll find out, man. I think I'll tell you what. It will depend on who we get in free agency in the draft. If we go out there and get a superstar receiver, a true number one, and another receiver to add on to that, because I don't think it's just about getting a one. I think you got to get a one, and you got to get either another receiver in the draft or in free agency. Like I know you guys aren't sold on D-Hop, but I would take D-Hop as my third receiver all day, every day, as long as you get the one. And you go into the season, and Joe Brady's still calling a million screens. Nothing's going downfield, even with the one. Then we got a problem, Houston, we have a problem. Because that means we have another McDermott on our hands, meaning Joe Brady is stuck in what he believes in, right? And that was McDermott's issue. McDermott refused to change. He was stubborn. Is Joe Brady stubborn? Is Joe Brady going to go into this next season, even if we get him a number one, and still, play, have the same play calling? Still run the ball 85% on first downs, right? Like, is he still going to be super predictable? Is our offense still kind of going to be vanilla? Or is he going to open it up more now that he has the weapons? Because if Beane provides him the weapons, then all we could say, if Brady doesn't do his job, meaning the offense is the same, all we could say is, well, fire Beane because you hired him, this idiot. But Beane did do a good job, and he brought you talent, and you did nothing with it. But I would still fire Beane just because this guy called this offense 2 straight years, and it was very predictable at times. It was very vanilla at times. And everybody said, okay, well, maybe it's because we don't have a true number one, and maybe that's why. Look what he did with Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, blah, 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 blah. And if we bring that type of player or players here and we have the same results or the same kind of scheme, we got a problem. Then you got a major fucking problem because it's Sean McDermott all over again on offense, right? Do we have another Sean McDermott problem? We'll find out soon because I think Brandon Beane gets him the players. And if Joe Brady doesn't use them the right way, what the fuck else? What can Brandon Beane do other than what? Fire Joe Brady immediately, because I would. I'll tell you what, after year one, let's say he brings in some talent. I'm going to be dead honest with you. If Brandon Beane brings in talent here for Joe Brady on the offensive side of things, and we have the same results on offense, the same scheme, we're not throwing the ball, downfield. We're not stretching the ball downfield. We're doing 1,000,001 fucking bubble screens. We're very, predictable on first down and second down. And that's what cost us the season. Let's say we just don't, we're not putting enough points up, right? I'd fire him. I would fire him after year one because that tells me it's not going to get any better. That tells me, I have a guy here that's like my old coach, Sean McDermott. I have a guy here who's unwilling to change his ways. He thinks his way is going to work, and it's not. And that's what worries me about the Joe Brady hire. Because when he was in Carolina, he had the same fucking problems, guys. The same. Go back. I've read it to you a million times. The reason why he was fired. There's articles. There's fans that were complaining about everything I've said about Joe Brady, right? The predictability, the vanilla type offense, right? Not scheming things up for his receivers to make their life easier on the field, right? To make them productive, right? The same lazy routes the route trees that he had for these receivers. That all carried to Buffalo. You would think he would change his ways when he got here. It didn't. Everything I complained about was what they were complaining about in Carolina. That's why he got fired. So it worries me that he was unwilling to change his ways even after he got fired from Carolina. He's still going, nope. This is the way, and I believe in this. This has to work. And that's Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott refused to change his defense. Nope. This is my scheme. We're going to do it my way. This way is the right way. And if Joe Brady is unwilling to change, we're fucked. We're fucked. And Brandon Beane will lose the job because of that. Because he ultimately hired Joe Brady, who is Sean McDermott 2.0. If that happens, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if Joe Brady refuses to change his ways, from the last 2 seasons with talent, guys, we're fucked. You have to fire him. You have to fire him. Matter of fact, if I'm Beane, I'm firing him after year 1 to maybe save my job. Because if you don't, and you go into year 2, and we have the same fucking problem, and you know what's going to happen, by the way, if we go into year 2, and we have, let's say, a superstar receiver, guess what's going to happen? That superstar receiver is going to go, I want out of here. I'm not even getting the ball. Like nothing's been. This offense isn't centered around me at all. Why'd they bring me here? And now we got a problem where our top guy wants out because we're not getting him the ball. Stephon Diggs. I'm just saying. Go back and look. Ken Dorsey used Stephon Diggs first year, no problem. Stephon Diggs was happy, all was good. I'm not saying Stephon Diggs didn't do any wrong here, by the way. Year 2 under Ken Dorsey, Stephon Diggs was still being a big part of the offense. Ken Dorsey gets fired. Joe Brady steps in. Stephon Diggs' numbers, they plummet. Crash and burn. We trade Stephon Diggs in the offseason. Right away. He's not going to work in this system. Gone. And that's concerning. And it has to be concerning to you guys too. Because, once again, if we get that guy in here, if we get a number 1 back in Buffalo, and we have the same results, no bueno. I'm going to tell you right now, people are going to freak the fuck out. And it's going to go right back to Brandon Beane. Because you made the hire. You hired that guy. You basically replaced McDermott with McDermott on offense. I hope that's not the case. How do you feel about the offense coordinator? Because he has a silent strength. I don't mind him. I'm not crazy about him, Robert. He's whatever. I like the assistant defensive coordinator. Yeah, the defensive side of things, guys, I think we improved on big time when it comes to the coaching staff. Like, that is a major improvement. The coaching staff. The defensive side of things. Offensively, meh. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I mean, did we? We lost Aaron Cromer. The offensive line coach we got he's okay. Right? Yeah. We didn't really, our OC, Joe Brady, I don't think we did a lot on offense at all. I don't. So it's gonna take Joe Brady to change his ways. And that's the other thing. Didn't McDermott hold back Joe Brady? Right? Mikey thinks he did a lot. Mikey swears McDermott was the reason why Joe Brady was the way Joe Brady was, where his offense was very vanilla at times and, slow methodical drives and run heavy and run first. And okay, we're going to find out because I do believe Beane's going to get him talent. And if we have the same play calls, everything's the same, we're in a lot of trouble. And then guess what's going to happen? We're going to have to rely on our defense to save the day. Which, we'll find out. Maybe our defense, maybe we have to lean on our defense. We'll find out. I don't know. Tommy, I'd like to see you warming up to the changes. Someone must have sprinkled some cocaine in your cornflakes. Look, man, it's not that I'm warming up to it. I'm in the now, right? Like, I can't change what's been done. Joe Brady's the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. I could sit here, I could bitch, I could complain, right? Nothing's going to change the fact that he's our head coach. So now I got to go, okay, I got to look at least the positives. I like the coaching staff. or at least most of it. The offensive side of things, like I just went through, it doesn't do a lot for me. I got to be honest with you. But the defense is exciting. The defense, I think most of us are backing, are going, yeah, we like what we're hearing. Like, okay. But tell me this. Have you heard anything about the offense that's gotten you excited like you've heard from the defense? I would say no. That is a problem, right? Like, has Joe Brady said anything, or even Carmichael, on their interviews so far? Has they said anything that made you go, okay, that's what I'm talking about? Like, no. Like Jim Leonard did. Like, and I'll play some clips from Jim Leonard presser, where I'm like, okay, that I like that. I like to hear that. Like, all right. I can't fucking wait. Yeah. Like, whoo, getting my blood flowing, right? What did Joe Brady say? Well, they asked about the screens and going deep. Well, the screen pass. Basically, he's going to continue to do what he's doing. Right? He didn't say, look, last year's last year. This coming up season, I'm gonna be working along with Carmichael and whoever we get in the offseason, whether that be free agency or in the draft, we're gonna get that receiver room going. We're gonna do some things a little bit differently. We're gonna spread the ball. He didn't say anything, right? We're gonna do a little bit of this, we're gonna do a little bit of that, we're gonna maybe go a little bit more up tempo at times. You're gonna see a little bit of different flow from the offense. Like, he didn't give us any, right? It was kind of like he was shying away from any of the answers, any of the questions that the reporters were bringing up, like going deep. He's like, we're not going to go deep all the time. We're going to that's not the name of the game. You still got to. So he was beating around the question, right? Like, so basically that tells me he's sticking with static quo. Like, nothing's going to change. So that worries me, right? It does. And it should worry Brandon Beane. I'm not going to lie. It should worry Brandon Beane a lot. Because if Brandon Beane goes out there and makes an unbelievable trade, let's say he pulls off an epic trade, we're like, holy shit, we got. I'm going to throw Justin Jefferson name out, all right? But I don't think it's going to happen. Holy shit, we got Justin Jefferson. Woo, we gave up 2 first-round picks, a 3rd-round pick. We gave up a shit ton. But you know what? Oh, it was worth it. Justin fucking Jefferson. And then we have the same results. And now you got a pissed off Justin Jefferson who's not getting 1,000 yards or barely 1,000. Bro, like, shit's going to hit the fan real fast. Right? And everyone's going to go, they're not going to really say, fuck Joe Brady. They're going to say fuck Brandon Beane for hiring this fucking guy who doesn't understand how to run an offense. That's what they're going to say. If Joe Brady doesn't change his ways with the addition of a player like that. Just saying. Free agency is going to tell us a lot about Beane. It is, and the draft. You know what I mean? Both. But I still feel like his drafts weren't that bad. I feel like a lot of people bashing the draft picks. I disagree with how the drafts have gone. Been a Bills fan longer than you've been alive. Oh, jeez. Oh, excuse me, badass. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. Appreciate you guys watching. Well, excuse me. Not excited for the new season with this GM owner promoting to head coach from within. Golly. I mean, badass. You act like I've been watching since 2020. I mean, I'm sure you've been watching since 1960. I'm not going to knock you. But I've been, I would say I've been watching a long time, since 1989. Like, I've been watching quite a bit of Buffalo Bills football. I think that I earned the right to be a diehard Bills Mafia. Nobody could take that away from me. But I get what you're saying. I can speak on Buffalo Bills football. I didn't just join the ship, right? Like I've been on it for a while. I have many scars, right, to prove that. Tommy, the line is mid. By the way, let's see what the results are so far. So we got 56 votes in. Right now, 7-9 wins 14%, 10-13 wins 50%, 14-15 25%, 16-17 11%. So right now, the 10-13 is holding strong at 50%, which, like I said, that's kind of where I have it. I have us around 12, so which is fine. Like I said, once again, it's about getting into the playoffs, right? 12 wins is a good season. I'll take 12 wins all day. You know, obviously I would like more, but 12 is fine. I have no problem with 12. But who has co-drafted since? He got lucky with Allen. He didn't get lucky with Allen, okay? I don't believe in luck, right? Unless it's casino, right? Or the lottery. No, bro. They did their homework, right? They saw the upside. They saw the work that was needed. They understood that, right? They also knew that he was extremely smart, which he was. And putting that all together, they said, man, we have a guy here who's 6'5", right? 250 pounds, has a rocket of an arm, can run, right? He needs to correct some issues. But if we can get him with this guy, and he's going to work in the offseason with, you know, on his mechanics and all that jazz, we may have something here. That's not luck. And matter of fact, look, man, most draft picks are, it doesn't matter. It is kind of almost a hit or miss, almost on all of them. Nobody's guaranteed to be a hit. So it's not luck. It's just they got to scout these guys. They got to weigh out the pros and cons. And you got to hope you're right, but it's not really luck. It's about how the player, you know, if the player is willing to put the work in, right? If the coaching staff is good, right? Because you got to also develop these players. And I said that before, too. We didn't always have the best coaching staff here. Like, Bobby Johnson was a horrible offensive line coach. Aaron Cromer made this offensive line what it is today, right? Like, you see the difference. And player development. Right? Wyatt Teller, who was okay here, but they saw no use for him, right? Bobby Johnson, Sean McDermott, and, you know, even Dable was guilty of it, going, we can't do nothing with this kid, trade him. Goes over to Cleveland, who had a good offensive line coach, made him who he is, right? And that also you have to take account. So I don't think it's luck, bro. I think a lot goes into it. And it worked out. You know, I don't think they were sitting there like, you know, just throwing a dart and seeing which player they hit. Rosen, Allen, you know what I mean? Like Lamar, like they studied, they did their homework. You know, they went to the combine. Like, there's work behind scenes, man. I don't believe in that, right? Did they get lucky with James Cook? Did they get lucky with, you know, Spencer Brown? It's not luck. Like, these guys go out. These scouts are out there scouting, right? They're out there at the combine. They're out there in the college pro days. Like, it's not really luck, right? Like, it's about the work you put in and the coaching staff that you have along with it. I bitch sometimes, and I want a JA in the draft. Some people didn't though. So if they get a great center, let Van Granger get a shot. I think SVP should, to be honest with you. I don't, like I said, the offensive line coach we got. I'm hearing a lot of mixed opinions from Steeler fans over there. I know he worked under Cromer. That doesn't mean anything, guys. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm not crazy about the offensive side of things with the coaching staff. It's okay. Like, we'll find out. The defense is what I think most people are on board with. All the Bills need for 2026 is to upgrade the D-line and O-line, at least make some good changes to make the team even better. Yeah. So I think McGovern walks. I think he gets paid somewhere. I think ultimately SVP should be the answer there. Alec Anderson also could be a guy. You never know. I don't think so. But still, you never know. Also at guard, he could play any position. I don't think he's top tier, but he's solid. He's a good depth piece if you needed to fill him, he needed to fill that role. Let's say we couldn't find one in free agency or the draft was minimal, like not a lot of guys, where we were drafting at the time. We can get away with it for a year with Alec Anderson, let's say at guard. Or maybe you sign back Edwards. I don't think he would be a crazy expensive signing. You could also sign him and draft a guard, have them compete. There's options. There's definitely options. You could move Dawkins to guard, though I don't think he would. Though I think he would play good. I mean, he played guard in college. But I think he's sticking with tackle. I don't know if you've seen our opponents for next season, but if they're a measuring stick, it will be the upcoming one. Almost every game won't be. Yeah, I get that, but you know what? It is what it is, man. It is what it is. But you know what will happen? We'll have that schedule, and then some teams will underperform, and they'll say the Bills had the easiest schedule. So I don't always buy into schedules either, right? You know what I mean? Like, don't get too caught up in early reactions to like who's gonna be. These teams are gonna be unbelievable. Like some of these teams may not. Some of these teams may struggle. You never know. I mean, right now they look like, like Baltimore looked like a Super Bowl caliber team. They didn't even make the playoffs. So, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Philadelphia got booted out pretty quick in the playoffs. So there's that, right? And then you got teams like New England that we looked at our schedule last year and we're like, oh, that's easy. We'll probably win both those games. All right, they're in the Super Bowl. Right? So, right? Just saying. Edmonds will be cut by Chicago. Dude, I would welcome Edmonds back here if we could afford it. I don't think it'll be crazy high contract, but I would welcome him back, man. That's a guy. I think they made a mistake. They let the wrong guy walk. They should have signed him and let Milano go. I like Milano, but he can't stay. The dude can't stay healthy, right? He's kind of like Kincaid, right? Kincaid and him are on the same boat. Like this, they're good when on the field, when healthy, but they're not reliable. Maybe it's not the draft picks as much as it's been how they developed by McDermott. He was always in control of the 53, exactly. And I don't know if they developed everybody good. Is it really luck when all the experts and fans put Rosen over Allen and they went against the grain and picked Allen in spite of everyone else? I don't think it's luck. I think they saw the potential in Allen. He had way more upside than Rosen. Way more upside. Rosen at the time, I think people were high on him because he was pro ready. He was in a pro system in college. But I didn't see anything from Rosen that stood out for me. I thought he was a good quarterback, but I didn't see a high ceiling. I didn't see anything that was like, oh shit, this guy, that big arm, this guy can, super mobile, right? Athletic. Like he was good, but yeah, I just didn't see much after that. I didn't see a high ceiling. And Allen, when I watched the highlights, when I watched his pro day, when I watched Combine, I said, okay, like you could see the faults. You could see the, completion percentage. He was missing some targets, but you saw the big arm. You saw the athleticism, right? You saw the size, right? He could scramble because I saw it in the highlights and then also in the pro day, right? So he had a much bigger upside than Josh Rosen. And for me, that was a no-brainer, right? Especially in Buffalo and those conditions, you need to have a strong arm. You need to be mobile. I always like mobile quarterbacks as well. I just knew he needed to fix some stuff up. And I mean, look, it could have went sideways. He could have got into the NFL and pulled a JP Lossman and said, I'm look, man, I got all the tools. I'm good. I'm not going to put the work in. I mean, guys, say what you want about JP, and I like JP Lossman. I don't think JP Lossman was terrible. He had the tools. He had a good arm. He did. He was mobile, right? But he just couldn't put it together. And I think he was a little bit cocky. He didn't want to put the work in, right? First round pick. You know what I mean? I remember like they were asking, like he felt like he should have been the number 1 pick. Like very cocky coming out of the draft. And, you know, he just didn't put the work in. And the results showed. And it was on a terrible Buffalo Bills team. Awful. They weren't going to help him either, right? Terrible coaching. Just not good. So he was doomed to fail, personally and coaching. So, but Josh Allen had it, like he had it upstairs. He understood he needed to put the work in. He understood that he needed, you know, to get with coaches, right, to correct the wrong. And then also, obviously, the coaches knew, okay, we got to do this. We got to make sure this gets fixed, or this guy is not gonna, or this is going to be a bust. And they did. They got him the right quarterback coach and Ken Dorsey. And I feel like Ken Dorsey was a major part of why, or of Josh Allen's success. Brian Dable's a major part. Palmer is a major part. And then obviously Josh Allen himself, right? He saw the specialist that corrected his mechanics. He was throwing the ball wrong, right? Which he fixed. The next year, he was throwing like, 67, 68% completion percentage in 2020. He went from 59 to 67, 68, something like that. Like, that's all on Allen. He's never been back that low ever again. So, you got to put the work in. Man, nothing like a good orange soda. Oh, man, I'm so fat. You know, these sodas are killing me, guys. Like, anyone who's watched me since 2020, my God, I am like a balloon. I watched Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory the other day, and that girl ate the blueberry. And I said, goddamn, that is me. I am a big fucking blueberry. just go on and fucking push me. And that's going to start rolling any minute. Oh, my God. All right. Enough about me. All right. Let's get back to I heard today that defensive coordinator sitting down with scouts and told them what type of players he is looking for. Yeah. I'm excited, man. Defense, definitely. Tommy, watching the Denver game, the offense and defense look slow. Yeah. I mean, listen, the offense put up 30 points. I mean, the defense still gave up 33. You know, they played okay, but they gave up 33. Let's be honest here. You know, if the defense actually stepped up at the end there when we were up 4 and actually made a fucking play, we're in the AFC Championship game. Just saying. Like, but when has McDermott's defense ever stepped up in a very important game? Like, never. Right? His defense has melted away like he did. I think I'm way behind in the chat, huh? If you grew up in Buffalo, you would get and understand the New England Boston hate. It's way different. No, listen, I get. I'm just telling you, me. Like I just, and maybe you're right. Look, I grew up in Miami. I grew up in South Florida. I grew up in South Florida. And my team that I hate are the Dolphins. But there's reasons for that, right? Like, for me, I don't know, like you said, you grew up, you know, you're from Buffalo and the New England. But for me, and I'll tell you mine, is because obviously I started watching 89. The Bills-Dolphins rivalry was as serious as they can get in the 90s. You know, Dan Marino versus Jim Kelly. It was pure hate. You know, they hated us. We hated them. And my whole family was Dolphin fans. So it was like me against the world, it seemed like. And I would go to the games as a kid when my mom would bring me. They'd be all decked up in their Dolphins gear. I would be in my Buffalo gear, right? And yeah, I hated them. The hate grew, and that's why I hate the Dolphins. There was just a lot to it. Now, I don't understand. You'll have to tell me why it's a Buffalo thing, because for me, the way I look at it is New England ran everybody over in the AFC. It wasn't a rival. We never were. They weren't in our way of a Super Bowl, right? Like, we were in the Dolphins' way. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't. We were never a good team while all that was going on. So it didn't matter. So I don't really get the hate, but explain it more. Maybe I'll understand it, but I don't like. And that's why I say I can't hate what they did, because it wasn't like Buffalo was, this playoff team every year, and man, those fucking Patriots, right? Like, always knocking us out in the AFC Championship game. We were right there, but we couldn't get over the Patriots. Like, that was never the case. We were terrible. So I don't get it. Like, you know what I mean? There has to be something else. So please explain. Beane needs to be more focused on good trades, bring in wide receiver. Yeah, I agree. And hopefully he does that. The vibe guy theme that McJoke loved. You rather play Hamlin than a superstar. Yeah, he had DeMar Hamlin run a fucking fake punt. It's just, if you had it, I'd rather play Hamlin than Bishop. And maybe. I mean, he did some dumb shit while he was here. Let's be real. McDermott, not that Tyrod was unbelievable, but he did, if you guys remember, in 2017, the year we broke the drought, he benched Tyrod Taylor for Nathan Peterman at one point in the season. It was an awful decision. Awful. Nathan Peterman was terrible. And then he got benched for Tyrod, who came back in and got us to the playoffs. So was it McDermott or was it Tyrod coming back and saving the day? Not that Tyrod was great, but he was way better than Nathan Peterman. And then when you go into 2018, he starts Nathan Peterman again to start the season. And then he pulled him. Like, if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know, like, how does McDermott, how do you not see how terrible this guy is? Did you not see enough of him in 2017? You had to play him again in 2018? Come on, man. Like, that guy should have been cut. Instead, you keep him on the team and you start him week 1. Are you fucking nuts? Like, crazy. Hoyt tore his Achilles. He could miss. No. He'll be back at some point next year. He'll be back next, because he tore it like midway through the season. It was week. God, what week was that, guys? Week 9. So I think he'll be back like week 6 or something like that. I could be wrong, but remember, every injury is different, or everybody responds differently on their rehab. So we'll see. I don't think he'll be. I think he'll be like on that 4-week. Was it the PUP list or whatever? Palmer was not that great with the Chargers. Yeah, he wasn't. That was a terrible pickup, by the way. He was like the 3rd option. I have no idea. That was an awful, awful pickup by Brandon Beane. Like I said, his free agency has not been good. Listen, I'm not going to kill him on the Von Miller thing. If Von Miller doesn't get hurt, he has 10 plus sacks that year. He swung. I don't mind that. I'm not going to kill a guy for swinging for the fences there. Unfortunately, he tore his ACL. I mean, you can't really predict injuries, guys. I mean, look at Micah Parsons when he got traded, right, to Green Bay. Like, you think they thought when they traded for him he's the guy that's going to tear his Achilles, ACL or whatever? Like, no, of course not. It just happens. It's football. And it's unfortunate. But sometimes you got to swing for the fences. And I'd rather let him swing for the fences than not swing at all. Like, that's my take. You guys could. I'm just not into the whole play it safe. That's what McDermott did. Play it safe. Coach not to lose, right? Like mentality. I don't like that. You got to sometimes swing, baby. You got to swing. Easy now. This NFL these days isn't about signing one major player. The player works in the scheme, or he doesn't look at Darnold. How many other players around the league? Yeah, I get that. I mean, I'm understanding that, but you still got to have talent, right? There's nothing wrong with surrounding your quarterback with talent. Sam Darnold in Seattle has talent. He's one of the better receivers in the NFL right now. He is a good running back. He's a good offensive line. Like, he has good options, right? Like, that's not a shit team. He also has a good defense that puts him in good field position, right? Like, turnovers, and that's a well-rounded team, right? It's not just about Sam Darnold. Here in Buffalo, it's kind of really all about Josh Allen. Now, James Cook emerged over the last 2 years, so you could kind of put James Cook in that category of, okay, it's Josh Allen, James Cook kind of leading the way. But outside of that, like, no one's really taken that next step. It's not well-rounded, not defensively especially. Like, nobody. We have good players, don't get me wrong, and I think they could be better. And I believe Jim Leonard and this defensive staff will actually make these players better. Put them in a different kind of look, different scheme, right? I do. I think guys, like I said, guys like Gregory Rousseau, guys like Ed Oliver, guys like Christian Benford, even Teron Johnson. You may see him at safety. You never know. I'm not saying he will be, but it's gonna be interesting. Leonard Floyd was a good pickup. He was, but unfortunately, he was a 1-year deal. But that was a great pickup. He was our last guy to have over 10 sacks. So, but 1 year. He tore his Achilles in week 7. That's not enough time to heal. I believe it is. He'll be fine. Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles week 1. I know it was week 1, but he was already ready to go week 1. Like, he'll be fine. There's guys that tore his Achilles, so I think he'll be all right. I'm guessing he'll be out the first 4 games. But we'll see. Every player's different, bro. Every player rehabs differently. I mean, I remember, what's his name? Adrian Peterson tore his ACL in a season, like midway, I believe it was, and came back on time and had over 2,000 yards that season rushing. So, like, some players are just built differently. Darnold deserves his flowers. Versus, yeah, Sam Darnold, man, give him credit, man. That dude has turned it around, man. Now Palmer is good. He had a bad injury that fucked up his season. I don't think Palmer's good, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see it, man. Like, they were talking about how he gets separation in his routes, and I really didn't see it. I mean, we'll find out. He's on a 3-year deal. I don't know if they cut him this offseason. I don't think they will. But I just don't see it. I didn't see anything in his game in L.A. that wowed me or said, wow, that guy could be something special here. I thought he was average at best. I don't know. He has to prove me wrong, bro. Nah, bro. 10 wins max. We'll see. I mean, I got him at 12. 10. We'll find out. Jim Johnson. There we go. Thank you. Appreciate you. Jim Johnson was the defensive coordinator over in Philadelphia. Beane is a fascist. My God. Jeez, well, you're not coming on Believe in Beane Island then. You're not welcome on Believe in Beane Island for that. You probably have your sign already made up. Get out of here. I'm just joking, man. Beane will be ultra aggressive. I hope so. Dan is a click. Oh, hey, come on. Dan's my friend, by the way, badass. Just a heads up. So I'm never going to. He's actually a friend of mine, and I'm on his shows on Mondays. I believe I come back this Monday because he was on a 2-week trip over at the Super Bowl. They were doing the Radio Row, whatever they call it, where they interview players and coaches from the Super Bowl. And obviously players and stuff like that. So I'll return, I believe, this Monday coming up at 10:30. But no, Dan's a good guy. Look, man, everybody has their cup of tea. I'm going to say this, right? And just because I don't like a certain channel, I'm not going to call them like any names. Like, it's just not for me. You guys know how I feel about certain channels. I'm not going to say it again, but I don't know them personally. I'm not going to go to that level. Like, once again, everybody, you may go to Post Podium and love them and come over here and be like, oh, this guy fucking, he's too, he's not hating like they, he's not ultra hating, he's down the middle. And I want this type of podcast that's more on the, we're going to just hate, which I love them, by the way. They're my brothers, man. So, but that's their thing. That's their type of show. That's what and the audience they get are usually guys that are on the same, that's what they want to hear, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Me, I would say my channel's down the middle. I give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like, I try to see everything for what it is, and I'm going to tell you how I feel regardless if you're going to like it or not. That doesn't mean you have to agree with what I say. And then there's channels that are X's and O's that are just, we're going to do film breakdown. And for me, that's boring. I can't get into that. But there's some people out there who go, hey, I love that shit. I can sit here for 2 hours and watch film breakdown. And then you got rah-rah channels that are just everything's positive and great and nothing the Bills can do is wrong. Like, and there's an audience for that. But Dan, for me, Dan is he is a lot like me. He's an entertainer. Like, he's entertaining. At least I think I am. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. But for me, he's entertaining. He's down the middle. He has some takes that are, a little out there, but so do I. Right? Like, it's okay. Like, I don't know. I don't agree with that. You know what I mean? But once again, you can fan how you want to fan. You can, as far as podcasts, I don't know. Truck review. I think Beane did average in the draft. Last year, Sanders, Hancock, Hawes, and Walker did okay. For rookies and strong, Harrison, Jackson got hurt, and Lunt. Well, look. First, people kind of forget. We draft at the end of every round, pretty much. I know we traded up for Sanders. I wouldn't have done that, but I want to point this out. You got to remember, the GM's job is to draft players that fit into the coach's scheme. McDermott did not want a true one tech. All of us did. Bills Mafia were like, get a one tech, right? Get a true one tech. But McDermott's going, no. Or, I don't want a one tech. I want lighter, faster. I want a 3 tech. Well, the best 3 tech at that spot where they felt was TJ Sanders. They didn't want to pass up on him, so they traded up and they got him. But that's more so what the coach wanted. That's why I can't wait for the draft and free agency to see what type of players Beane brings in now. That's a different scheme, a different outlook, right? Different vision. But I kind of like, look, Hawes wound up being a really good pickup, really good blocking tight end. I think he can actually be used in offense a little bit more, but I thought that was an excellent pickup where we got him. Hancock, we'll see. The verdict's still out on him. I like him. I think he has potential. I don't know if he has a crazy upside, but I think he's a good depth guy. Harrison, we'll see. My knock on him was he was very undersized, very light. He got hurt right away. He's very thin. I I feel like he should bulk up a little bit, but maybe he just doesn't have it in him to bulk up. I don't know. Landon Jackson, I had high hopes for. I'm not gonna lie. He has a lot of the tools, man. The dude is a freak athlete, but he had ACL injuries in college, and then he had one here. Like, he didn't have the best camp. Like, he just couldn't put it together, and then, like I said, then he got hurt on top of it. He may just be one of those picks where he had all the tools but couldn't put it together. We'll find out. We still got time with him, but I wouldn't be shocked if he's like cut by, next year or something like that. We'll see, but yeah. I mean, and then Deion Walker. Deion Walker was probably our best draft pick, and Deion Walker has a lot of upside. And I was a little surprised on how well Deion Walker actually played. And I don't think, and that's not even the best of Deion Walker. I think Deion Walker's still getting back from his back. Like, he's still kind of getting to the point where, like, the back injury thing's not going to play a part anymore. And, at least, well, hopefully not. And he can do more now with the new defensive coordinator, the new defensive line coach, and just get him up to speed on what they want him to do. He's a good player. I have high hopes for him, for sure. All said and done, I'll give Beane a B+ on last year's draft. That's fair. I'm with you. And I think I'll agree with that. Knox and Kincaid got bubble screens, and Halls did not. BS. Love. Be better, Brady. Brady needs to be better in general, Roy. It's not. It just. And like I said, I don't know if you were here, but if we go out and get him the weapons he needs, right? Because everyone's saying, oh, no, this is why we had no weapons. If we go out and get those weapons, right, and we're all behind it, oh, shit, Brandon Beane did it. He was super aggressive, and he made this trade, or he traded up and got this top 10 receiver, or whatever the case may be, right? He got multiple receivers, and we still are having a problem with offense and in the passing game. There's only one answer to the problem. It's Joe Brady. Like, that's it. You can't point the finger anymore. You can't go, well, it's, the guy we traded for, the number one that was having 1,000-yard seasons every year, and all of a sudden comes here and can't get a catch. Or it's the guy that's coming out of college we drafted that, is a top 10 player, and we're not even giving him targets, right? We're giving him 4 targets a game, right? Like, we're going to go quickly. We're going to realize it's not the weapons. It's the fucking coach, right? And that's what it boils down to, right? And we're going to find out real quickly if the last 2 years was a player problem or a coaching problem. And I said last year, and I'm with Mikey, I thought it was a combination, right? I didn't think the players were the best either, but I didn't think Joe Brady helped out much. I really didn't. And everybody, and Mikey wants to kind of put the blame a little bit more towards McDermott on that. I still feel like Joe Brady was more responsible than anybody. He needed to know what I have in the room, right? All right, here's my receivers. What does he do best? What does he do best? What does he do best? What does he not do well? Okay, how can I scheme things up for this guy, for A, B, and C, and D, right? Okay, this guy has elite speed, Elijah Moore. Okay, what can I do with Elijah? Okay, let's do this. No, he didn't do that at all. He didn't scheme things up for anybody. He didn't put them in a position to win, to be successful. And if you go back to Carolina, it was said, the same things were said about Joe Brady in Carolina. He didn't scheme things up for his receivers. So once again, if we bring in talent here, whether that be through a trade, free agency, or the draft, and we go into next season and our passing game is still, shaky, what is Bills Mafia going to say then? Are they going to point the finger at Beane and go, what the fuck, Beane? Oh, how you got no talent? How you bring him Joe Brady no talent, Brandon Beane? No, you're not. You know what you're going to say? Man, Brandon Beane, how the fuck you hire Joe Brady as a fucking head coach? That's it. That's all you can say. And I'll be with you. By the way, I will 1,000% be like, yo, how the fuck you hire Joe Brady knowing damn well this motherfucker can't call plays? This motherfucker don't know talent. Oh my God. That this motherfucker's been so predictable over the last 2 years that defensive coaches and head coaches are telling you this in their press conferences, that everything they saw on film, the Bills brought to the table, they didn't even have to adjust. That's what I would say. And you trusted this guy? Oh my God. Oh, come on, badass. Look, I love you. You support my channel, and you seem to like me, but that's my dude, man. I'm not gonna. You can feel how you want to feel, man. But once again, man, there's a million fucking podcasts, dude, and not everyone has their cup of tea, right? Like, you're gonna like who you want to like. You're not, but that doesn't mean that individual is a bad person or a douchebag, whatever the fuck you whatever. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna talk about it no more. You don't like him, you don't like him. I mean, I would say, right? Oh my God, Beane is fine with me. He's made more better moves than he has poor. I have faith in the guy too. Right the ship. And the receiver room, especially. Thank you, Vader. Exactly. Like, I think he's done more right than wrong. And I feel like people are so quick to go to, like, the WGR thing. Oh, you're such a bad person. You told him, stop bitching about the receiver room. Oh, he's awful. What a cocky guy. Like, guys, he had a bad moment. Like, we all act like, a lot of us, we all act like we would never act that way. Like, guys, we've all had bad moments. We all have said things maybe we shouldn't have, or we have acted a certain way that was out of character, right? Because maybe we had a bad day at work. We came home and whatever, your girlfriend says something and you took it the wrong way and you snapped. And then you realize, oh, shit, man, why fuck, man. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I took it out. Or you snapped on your kid. Whatever the case may be, right? Or you had a bad day at home and you went to work and you're being an asshole to your coworkers. Like, it happens. Like, no one's perfect. We all have our moments. And I swear, we act like we don't. And, oh, my God. He can't. Brandon B can't say that. Right? How dare he? How dare he say? Guys, look, it is what it is, right? Like, how many interviews did that guy do, right? Since being GM of the Buffalo Bills, since 2017, he's been on WGR, he's been on Pat McAfee, he's been on Rich Eisen. Name another time that Brandon Beane, that you can recall, was an asshole or said something where you're like, oh, whoa. Like, I can't recall it. Matter of fact, he's been on Pat McAfee multiple times. And Pat McAfee's show is way different. It's a laid back, kick back, having fun, not too serious type of podcast. It's not for everybody. And if Brandon Beane was like this asshole, just saying, a stuck-up dickhead, one, they probably would have never invited him. And if they did, they want to have him back because that's not the kind of person they want on the show. They want a guy that can loosen up and have fun and talk and they can relate with. I've gotten nothing but that from Brandon Beane on those shows. Rich Eisen, Pat McAfee. Nothing has said to me, oh, this guy's a fucking asshole. This guy's a fucking cocky asshole. Right? He's not having fun. He's being a dick. Everything is his answers are very plain Jane. Fine, right? Then I would say, okay, you know what? Our GM is just, he's kind of a dick. But I never got that. But the one time he says something, Bills Mafia's like, oh my God, whoa, I can't believe it. What an asshole. He's the worst guy in the world. I mean, come on, man. Oh, it's just crazy to me. Beane's free agency last year was his worst. Free agency? God, man, you might be right, dude. I mean, Joey Bosa wasn't terrible. I was wrong about Bosa. I thought Bosa was actually, he did better than I thought. He stayed healthy for most of the season. I think, what did he miss? Did he miss any games? If he did, he didn't much, maybe one. I thought it was okay. It wasn't great, but he's had some bad free agencies. I have to go through it, and I think we did before. There were some bad ones, dude. So that's one thing, like I said, that I knock. That's a knock that I give on him. He has to do better in the free agency. Beane is the president of operations, so changing the radio station broadcast is kind of his wheelhouse. Okay, so fucking what? So, it's also Pagula going, hey, like we got. And by the way, this has to do with money as well. Okay, like let's not get that confused, Spin. This has to do with advertising and all that jazz. But once again, fans will get over it. Okay, you guys will all get over it. All right, it's gonna go somewhere else. All right, figure another way. All right, who the fuck listens to the goddamn radio, anyways, during games? Like, I'm sorry. So, like, yeah, I don't know. I guess if you're at work, but you'll figure a way. Who listens to the game? I just said that, right. Fucking 90-year-old grandma or grandpa over there. Hey, they don't have the game on radio anymore. I was just about to have a glass of lemonade and enjoy the game on the radio. I have my transistor radio with the antenna way up. My cold glass of lemonade. There's nothing like a good game on the radio. Oh my God. Just curious how many people actually listen to your radio. Right. Oh my God. Right. Who the fuck listens? Like, nobody. The only time I've ever turned it to a radio is if I'm like racing to go get a pizza at halftime and the game turned back on because I'm stuck in traffic or some shit. Right. And I got to hear what's going on. Outside of that, I definitely am not right hearing a whole radio broadcast of a football game. You got to be on my fucking mind. You might as well go back and watch everything on black and white again. Again, you don't live here, so you don't get it. When it comes to pulling the shows from local radio, new stadium. Listen, I don't. You're right. I don't. I'm not telling you, badass. I'm not. Let me make this clear for everybody that's out there. My opinions, I am not forcing them on you guys. I'm not telling you it's the gospel. It's only opinion. I don't live where you live. I don't live in Buffalo. I have family in Rochester, but I don't talk to them regularly. Matter of fact, I haven't talked to them in years. But maybe I don't get it. And I respect that. But I'm just giving you my opinion. And I'm sure you're giving me yours, but okay. Like, I know you got the capital letters going here. But I don't feel like, I'm just saying, even if I lived in, put it this way. In my opinion, if I lived in Buffalo, matter of fact, I'll take it back. I live here in Detroit, right? We have 97.1 the ticket here, which is obviously FM radio, right? It's like WGR, same shit. They have the Red Wings games on. They have Piston games. I cannot tell you any time in my life that I fucking sat and listened to a whole complete game on the radio or could care less. If they took it away, I could give two shits. That's me. And I love the Pistons. I love the Tigers. I don't watch hockey, so I can give a fuck about hockey, but for me, I'm just saying, me personally, I don't care. I want give two shits. I watch the game on TV at home, but that's me. You may feel different. You may enjoy the radio. I get that, but once again, you don't know yet what their plans are, right, for the game. So how do you not know that wherever they're broadcasting games might be better? I'm just saying, or it could be worse. It could be. Listen, it's a business, so knowing them, they're going to charge you, right? I have no idea. But that's just how I see it. But I get it. Everyone's going to feel differently. Like, I'm not pushing my opinion on anybody. Used to in the 90s when the games were blacked out. Right, exactly. That's different. But come on. This day and age with streaming and all the NFL, how powerhouse the NFL is, there's a way to watch the game everywhere, right? Like, come on. New stadium going to be fire. Yeah, I can't wait. I lived in Connecticut in the 90s, missed a lot of Bills game. Yeah, I lived in South Florida for a long time. Luckily, I got to watch both because we played the Dolphins, obviously, twice, so I got to see those no matter what. And obviously, they would play a lot of Bills games too because we were a really good team in the 90s. So I got to see a lot of Bills games, not like the whole season, obviously, but I got to see a good amount because of, and then we were always in the playoffs. So, like, I didn't miss too much, but I did. And it sucks. I'll say this because back then, obviously, there was no NFL package. There was no red zone. There was nothing like that. I pretty much had to watch whatever game was on and look at the ticker. Like, terrible. Like, that was awful. You know what I mean? Think about that. How about that? Right? How about living in another state, badass, being a fan in the early 90s, right? Where there was no other way when your team wasn't on, like, local, right? I had to pretty much watch the scoreboard as I'm watching another game. Like, that was terrible, right? And then I didn't even know the box score, nothing. I had to wait for highlights on ESPN, right? And that came on late at night. You had to wait late for Sports Center, right? And even then, they didn't give you the whole box score. They only gave you some stats. I'd have to get the newspaper the following day and get the sports section out, and then, they give you a little article on how the game went, right? Like, right? And then the box score, like, it was tough. So, yeah, trust me, like, tough times back in the day. Yeah, I'm in PA, born and raised. Okay. You're not far from me. I drove through PA to get to Buffalo, actually. Damn, our best years to miss. This town was electric. Yeah, Ray, I do listen to the radio broadcast. I sync it with the TV. They have much more valuable info. Now, that may be true, too. I get that, too. Like, I get some fans may hear a different broadcast. Like, I know some fans watch, or some Bills Mafia watch live play-by-play reactions on some channels. Like, Dan Mitchell goes live. Hashtag Sports. I believe Buffalo Fanatics does a live play-by-play. And they like to watch the game and listen to those guys and chat with those guys. So I get it, right? Not everybody likes the commentary. So I understand that too. Josh didn't take any votes away from Drake. The voters took the votes away from Drake. That's a good point, Robert. I was just bringing it up because it's kind of funny. I haven't missed a game, TV broadcast or live since about 2010. Yeah, same here. I mean, I maybe a few. It's been a while, dude, to be honest with you, because by that time I had the package in South Florida. I was still living in South Florida at the time. So yeah, actually, even before that, I wasn't missing because they had the package out for a while, the NFL Sunday Ticket. So I haven't missed a game for a long time, dude. But maybe here and there when it was like something I couldn't remember. But if it was something crazy happening where I couldn't watch the game, but as of late, I would say too, especially since I've been doing this, dude, guys, like I refuse. I can't. Like I am. It's like I just can't miss a game. I'm just dialed in. Matter of fact, even my new job, I told him I can only work certain days, man. So, and that's why I love my new job, because not a lot of jobs cater around your football schedule. Like, you know what I mean? They'll be like, bro, you want the job or not? Because I give a fuck about your Buffalo Bills football, your goddamn podcast. Right? So this new job that I got, that I've been working for about a year, they were cool with it, and I told them, bro, I can only work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And that's what I work. I work 3 days a week, 4 days off, man. And that's why I get to do the podcast on Monday and Friday, and Monday, Fridays, and Saturdays, and then I'm able to watch every single football game. And if the game's on Thursday, I just take the night off, and they're cool with that too. So, yeah, I got a pretty cool job. Not the greatest paying job, but they've worked with me, so I'm cool with it. Those were the years. Every year we believe we are winning the Super Bowl. Yeah, shit. The drought years, I thought that this was the year. Right? Like, I was so optimistic every year. I mean, and I think we're all guilty of being optimistic, though. In the back of our mind, we're like, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. But every year, there was something I found where I'm like, hey, whoa, this could work. Hey, we signed Takeo Spikes. This could work. Nope. Hey, we drafted Willis McGahee. Whoa. Sammy Watkins. What? Here we go. Super Bowl. Never happened. Tommy, in the words of Bob Seger, the Bills team is still the same. We need something new, kid. I disagree a little bit. So it's not the same because we got rid of McDermott. Okay, let's be real here. Let's start with that. That's one. That was a major problem in my opinion. Two, we got a whole new coaching staff, and the most important part of the coaching staff is the defensive side of things. And that I'm excited for, and I think that's why a lot of fans here are excited about that change. Offensively is where I'm a little bit worried. We'll see what happens, but I don't know if it's still the same. The only way it'll still be the same is if Joe Brady is Sean McDermott 2.0 for offense. Then we got a fucking problem. We got a major fucking problem. But if Joe Brady can prove me wrong, and he's not Sean McDermott 2.0, where he can, actually change his ways, meaning some of the shit that we didn't like, being predictable, the vanilla type offense, not understanding what you have in the room, not scheming things up for receivers. If he can understand that he needs to get better as a coach, then maybe we got something going good here, right? But if he's unwilling to change, or he simply can't change his ways, then yeah, the offense is going to look the exact, no matter who we bring here. It doesn't matter. So I have to see a change from Joe Brady in 2026. I have to, because he's the play caller, right? Which I don't like either. Like, you're the youngest coach in the NFL. It's your first year, and you're going to take on both responsibilities as head coach and play calling right away. I don't like that, and I don't think it's a good idea. Like, if I was Brandon Beane, I would have definitely said, are you sure this is a good idea? You're year one in. You're going to have you're a rookie. Let's be real. He is a rookie head coach. You're going to have your bumps and bruises year one. Are you sure you want to take on added responsibility year one, when you should be really concentrating on being a head coach and what it takes and concentrating on the whole team, right? Instead of now, you got to worry about play calling, coaching, and the defense and everything else that takes place as being a head coach. Like, it's just a lot on your plate year one. And not only that, expectations. Because ain't nobody going into 2026 with low expectations. You can't. Not with Josh Allen. This isn't a rebuild, folks. Like, no one, and you shouldn't feel like we're going into a season where we're going to be a bad team. Like, expectations should still be high. And if he fails, and we fired the guy that at least got us to the playoffs every year, which I still believe is a great firing, but if he can't even do that, Houston, we got a problem. And it's a big fucking problem. So I hope he changes. I hope he looks in the mirror and says, what can I do better? But I just don't know if I don't agree with the whole play calling right away. I feel like he should have went out and got himself a good OC to call the plays and worry about coaching. And if you want to take over play calling a couple years from now, when you got your feet wet, you're comfortable in coaching, right? You already established yourself as a head coach. Fine, right? Because more than likely your OC is left by then to take a head coaching job, right? If he was successful. Shit, even Sean McDermott didn't do play calling until after Leslie Frazier left. And that was a while. When was that, 2022? My super chat didn't pop up, Tommy. I didn't, there was no super chats that came up, brother. I didn't get a super chat. James, let me see here. Yeah, nothing came through, brother. I'm caught up with the chat. I apologize if you did, but it doesn't. I mean, guys in the chat, can you let me know? Because I didn't. Nothing came through on my. I didn't see any super chat, brother. I apologize if you did, but I and trust me, I answer everything as best as I can. And super chats, is obviously, I always do. But go ahead and put your question, post it anyways. I'll get to your question regardless. But yeah, I did not see a super chat, brother. It pops up right here on my screen too. Like I'm on this service we called StreamYard. It would let me know. Guys in the chat, let me know. I really did not see that. If you did, but it don't matter. Put your comment and I'll respond regardless. Guys, has anybody else super chatted and let me know, please. Don't be an asshole and lie. Please let me know if you guys are sending a super chat and it's not going through, because I'm not getting any notification there's any super chat going through. So if anyone else super chat, like for real, please let me know, because then I'm gonna have to get with YouTube or figure this out, because I've never had that problem before. Good evening. How you doing, Edward? Of course, the defense is going to be the exciting part. That's what everyone's been complaining about for the past years, for the past how many years about his team, and change is going to be exciting. Absolutely, Spin. I agree. But, Spin, to be real, though, with all the coaching interviews so far that we've heard, right, I would say that, like, Leonard's interview was more, like, upbeat, more where you're getting behind it. You're like, okay, like, he was more saying, like, what is going to change, what it's going to be like, you know, what players are going to do, what he sees in this player, that player. I didn't get a lot from Joe Brady. Like, it almost seemed like he was just saying, well, what you're going to see is what you got the last 2 years from me. Like, there was nothing exciting about Carmichael presser that got me like, yeah, like I didn't get a lot. I got way more from Leonard. So, I mean, maybe you see it differently, but I didn't get enough from Brady that tells me, hey, we're going to expect something different in 2026. Unless you did, or unless anybody did, let me know. But I didn't. I think you underestimate the impact McDermott had on the offense. Absolutely. He shouldn't. He had his hand in the cookie jar, and he shouldn't have. He should have been concentrating on his shitty-ass defense and fixing that before he even fucked around with the offense. Like, I hated that. So I'm with you, and that's why I'm saying this season's going to tell a lot because there's no more excuses here for anybody, right? And I've been saying, hey, McDermott has control of the 53, and this was his team. This is what he wanted, and Beane was only supplying the ingredients that fit into McDermott's scheme. Now it's Beane's show. Now it's Brady's show, right? There is no more, hey, McDermott said, he had control of the offense. He wanted the offense to be. There is no more of that, right? If Beane goes out and doesn't do it, let's say Beane doesn't do anything in free agency. He doesn't do anything in the draft. Like, he doesn't do anything that's anything different. He's not aggressive. He doesn't go out and get a true one, right? It's the same kind of, he goes out and gets another receiver who's another Josh Palmer. Fine. Then you know what? You're going to come back to me and be like, bro, Tommy, Beane is terrible. Beane did nothing different in this offseason. And I'm going to go, you know what? I got to agree. But if he goes out and gets these pieces, and we're like, yeah, okay, he got a number one, he got another receiver, did this in the draft, and then Brady does the same thing. We have the same results. The passing game looks the same. It hasn't changed one bit. Then we have a coaching problem, right? We can't blame it on Beane for not supplying the talent at that point. And we can't blame McDermott for fucking up the offense, right? So I got to see it. 1970, says Mr. Badass. All right. Beane would, the hardest is picking out. What is it? Sorry if I skipped that. Let me go back to that. Beane made the hard decision picking Brady. Any young guy he could fire after 2 years. If Brady fails, Beane is gone. Absolutely. And you know what? He would deserve to be gone. And listen, I back Beane. Like I said, I'm the one that created Beane Island. Believe in Beane Island. Like, I trust him. I do. I think he'll get it right. I'm not crazy about the hire, though. And this hire could potentially get him fired. And rightfully so. You had options. You had, for me, better options. You chose to stay in-house. If this fails, this is going to fall right in the lap of Brandon Beane. There is no out of this. There's no getting out of this. This is your fault. You picked this guy. Right? You had your option. There was good options. You chose this one. This one better work out. Or it's your job. Plain and simple. All the fucking people that wanted Josh Rosen was pissed off they took Josh Allen. Yeah. Crazy, right? Okay, so first of all, he was quoting like a show or a movie, which most high school, college kids do, even grown-ups quote stuff, say stuff. Like, people are very sensitive. It wasn't meant in any type of bad way. People people take things so wrong. But yeah, it didn't help his draft stock. And by the way, teams do that on purpose. Teams find dirt to purposely drop players in the draft. It's crazy. Remember the one guy that was like smoking weed and like he was like an offensive lineman for the Dolphins? Remember that guy? Larry Tunsil? He dropped in the draft because of that. Because of the pictures with him and the gas mask. It's like, God, guys, fucking college, bro. Like, chill the fuck out. Like, they're having, the guy wasn't, naked on the corner with a crack pipe in his hand. Like, calm down. He's probably at a fucking college party, hitting some weed. Relax, okay? God. Like, this guy's a fucking crackhead, missing teeth, shooting meth in the bathroom. They got a picture of him. Oh, my God. If you grew up in Buffalo, you're a hockey Sabres fan. We hate the Bruins, anything Boston. Okay. If you're old enough to have been a Braves fan, you hate the Celtics. Dolphins were always our rival. Yeah, so I just hated the Dolphins. So, and baseball, I was always a Tigers fan because I got family in Detroit. So I'm weird. So I'm a Tigers fan, Pistons fan, Buffalo Bills, and Miami Hurricanes. It's the only team in Florida that I like is the Hurricanes. Diehard Miami Hurricanes fan. Obviously, diehard Bills fan, diehard Pistons fan, and Tigers fan. Though the Pistons pissed me off, by the way, did not make any trades at the trade deadline this year. Really, really bad move by the GM. When you have an opportunity to make your team even better, I just don't get it. I hate when GMs feel like their team is good enough, and why not make it great? If their opportunity is there to improve, you should always try to improve. You should not just be like, hey, we're good. We're in first place. What do we need to make? Why do we need to get better? That's not like, you should want to get better. You should always want to improve. You should always be willing to add as much talent as you could get. Right? Always. Your excuse should never just be like, we're good. Like, we're first place. Like, that shit will come back and bite you every time, man. I love aggressive teams. And listen, I think you should be aggressive if you're in first place or you're a team that's at the top and there's a chance to get even better and be aggressive, to go all out, go all in, or whatever, go all in. Fuck yeah, you go all in. Because you don't know if your chance of getting back there again is going to happen, right? You're in that spot now. Fuck yeah, add on and make it happen. I'm always for all in. Always. Remember to hit the like. Yes, hit the like. Thank you. I always forget, man. Landon Jackson, big disappointment. Maybe the defense will change. Maybe, but I think it's like his second or third ACL. I think he had one or two in college already, so torn ACL, so not good. Hall's is a blocking tight end. Yeah, absolutely he's a blocking tight end, but he's also one of those tight ends that can be used on offense here and there. Like, he's a sneaky target. We've seen it last year, right? Like, I'm not saying use him on offense all the time, but if you could definitely get some play calling, some plays drawn his way for sure. One of the best blocking tight ends. Yeah, he's damn good. I love his attitude too. He don't give a fuck. Goes in there, just blocks. He'll take on anybody. If Brady didn't scheme up for his receiver in Carolina, what's that tell you? He ran Diggs out. Yeah, that's my concern. Like, that's my biggest concern when it comes to Joe Brady in this offense. Because what if Brandon Beane goes out and gets the talent and we have problems on passing in the passing game? We got a major problem. We got a major fucking problem. I hope that's not the case. All those shows did say they don't get the Beane promotion and Brady head coach hire. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm cool with the. See, I'm one of very few that agreed with the Beane promotion and keeping Beane aboard in general. Like, I didn't feel like the reason for our failures were on Brandon Beane. I'm not saying that he didn't play somewhat of a part, but I felt the majority of it was Sean McDermott. So I felt Brandon Beane deserved another opportunity. As far as the Brady thing goes, there is a couple channels out there that actually like to hire. But I think there's probably more that probably didn't care for it. Bosa missed one game. Okay, see, that's still not bad. I expected him to miss more, to be honest with you. Bosa never used correctly. McDermott's defense gone, thank the Lord. Yeah, and Bosa's gone, by the way. Unless they resign him, which I doubt. And honestly, man, at this point, he's aging. I mean, he's still aging, right? And he wasn't super duper productive. He was good, but not, playoffs. He didn't do much in the playoffs. So, like, I'd rather our money go elsewhere. I got to be honest with you guys. Just find yourself a younger edge in the draft that's going to be here long term. Stop with the 1 year guy. Don't laugh. A sweet old lady called Tasker Show. Told she listens to the radio. Was afraid couldn't get the game. All right. Love your opinion, Tom. Really do, or I wouldn't be here. You sure don't shove your opinion on us, which is what makes you good. Hey, I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, I don't. I speak and speak. Look, I've been on here 2 hours and 15 minutes. I thought I was going to be on here an hour tonight. Honestly, guys, I had so much stuff to maybe get to that I was just like fishing for things to talk about, and I didn't get to one thing. I was going to show you guys clips of Leonard and his presser. I'm not going to be able to get to that because I got to get out of here eventually. So, Pegula killed Empire Sports with MSG deal, which can only get on Spectrum Cable. The MSG app is, yeah, see, that's bullshit. It's all about money, though. You know what I mean, Bad? Like, it's at the end of the day, they don't give a fuck about you or me. All right, I just got a super chat. So, now, so it just came through. I don't know if you're still here, but it just came through. So, Carmichael will scheme and design the play sheet every week. McVay called plays with the Rams from game 1. Joe will give his coaches more anonymity than McDermott ever did. OC and DC picked assistants. I get it, and I understand that, and I think that's where my co-host and I are at a tug of war when it comes to Brady. I understand McVay was one of those guys that was an offensive, one of those guys that, was highly scouted as being an offensive genius, and he took, he became a head coach and he was calling plays year 1. It was very successful. I get all that, but it doesn't happen a lot either. Right? One, I've heard this before, where this guy's a defensive guru or this guy's an offensive guru, and it didn't work. It failed. Right? Also, I go back to Brady in Carolina and the things that he didn't do well there, he didn't do well here. He didn't change his ways. That's concerning, right? So that's why, for me, I'm worried a little bit. I did not see anything different from Carolina and here from Joe Brady on everything that I saw wrong in Joe Brady, if that makes sense, right? And what's funny is I didn't even read these articles until this year. So it's not like, I went and read them and then, and now I'm saying them because I saw what I read and now I'm, just kind of going up by their article. I've been saying these things about Joe Brady since he took over, right? Even my co-host will tell you that, where I'm like, damn, this guy's very predictable, or, why is he, why are we running the ball on first down like 85% of the time, right? Why are we, not scheming things up for these receivers? Why are the routes seem so lazy, right? And then I go back this year. I'm like, I'm very curious what the reason why, what the reason was that he got fired in Carolina. There had to have been articles, right? So I search, and there's a couple, right? I think SI had one, and I think a local paper or something had one. And everything I've been saying over the past 2 years was everything they said 4 years or 5 years ago on why they feel that he was fired from Carolina. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, this is what I've been saying, right? This is exactly what I've been saying. So it tells me either he's unwilling to change, or he can't, meaning he's just not good enough, right? And who was like that here? McDermott. Right? McDermott had a scheme. It worked for a little bit, right? His defense, let's be real, his defense was good in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. And by 2020, though, it started, you're right. You started to see the defensive collapse. You started to see the defense fall, right? You started seeing offenses start to figure out McDermott's defense. The bend, don't break. The soft zone. The 4-3 soft zone that he calls it, right? Better offensive coordinators like Andy Reid, right? The Bengals OC started going, okay, you know what? This guy plays the same way, plays the same scheme. How is it beatable? How can we beat it? Okay, well, let's just do everything. They're going to give us these plays, right? We're just going to take them and we're going to march down the field, right? And we're going to use all this clock because they're giving us all this free space. And we're going to march down and we're going to score. And the better teams did that, right? And McDermott was never willing to change his scheme, right? He didn't do it this year. Matter of fact, this year, he was called out more times than I've ever seen about from other coaches going, man, the Bills are showing exactly, they did nothing different on film. Like, they didn't adjust. They didn't do anything different. Like, they give us exactly what they are. There's no wrinkles. There's nothing different. And you can't be like that. And that's why I like Jim Leonhard, because Jim Leonhard's like, look, I'm going to throw, you don't know what we're going to throw at you. I'm not just a 3-4. I could do a 4-3. I could do this. I could do McDermott's type of thing, right? McDermott was never willing to change his ways. And I feel like Brady kind of falls in that category where, like, he feels like he's this bright, offensive-minded guru that he has it all figured out, right? And the bubble screens and the screen game's the way to go, and the RPOs and, whatever he has in his mind that he feels will work, should work, has to work, and he's going to continue to do it. And you can't be that way. You got to be willing to change. You got to be willing to go a different direction if that isn't working. And McDermott refused to do it. Brady has refused to do it, right? Like, guys, in that game, in overtime versus the Broncos, how many times did we run it on first down in overtime? Every fucking time. Even the announcers, and that's the other thing I got sick of. Even the fucking announcers, right? Romo would be like, boy, it'd be a good time to run a play action here. Because they're selling out for the run, right? Like, boy, it would be a good time to, I don't know, do something different here first. Catch them off guard here. Like, a play action would be really, really good here. Nope. No. We're just going to same play. Like, why? What are we doing here? How about the year before on the tush push when the Chiefs are selling out for the tush push? The same side. To the left. Joe Brady, what the fuck, bro? The announcers see it. The defensive coordinator sees it on the other side of the field. You're a guru. You claim to be this offensive, bright-minded, intelligent guy on offense, everything. Why aren't you seeing it? Why are the announcers seeing it? Why are you continuing to be stubborn and go, no, it's going to work. It has to work. No, it doesn't have to work. It failed. And we lost. Right? If you would have went maybe the opposite way, or maybe even did something different than the tush push, just throwing a wrinkle out there, right? Like, but that's what I mean about predictability, right? I need to see different from Joe Brady this season, right? There is no more excuses, guys. There's no more excuses, right? I've given these guys, even Joe Brady, an excuse because of Sean McDermott. I've given Brandon Beane an excuse because of Sean McDermott, right? I think a lot of us have gone, well, Sean McDermott let us down in the playoffs, this, that, and that. He's holding Leslie Frazier back. He held Ken Dorsey back. He held, Brian Dable back, and that's why Dable left, and, they didn't get along. And Joe Brady really didn't get to see the best of Joe Brady because, McDermott wanted this type of offense. Beane couldn't draft these kind of players because they had to fit into this scheme. Well, guess what, guys? McDermott's gone. And this is it. This is time. This is it. This is where they have to prove themselves to Bills Mafia that was the reason why. And we're heading in a new direction. And this is what they wanted all along. This is what they see this team being. This is what they are seeing. This is the kind of players they want in the building now, right? They don't have to be all choir boys anymore, right? They don't have to toe the line anymore, right? They could be themselves, right? Because that's another thing I've been hearing, right? Okay. So here it is, right? Here it is. It starts very soon, right? March is free agency. Here we fucking go. Okay. I'm old school. When you fire one, you fire the whole lot. Brady just keeps the rebuilding work. And I'm with you, by the way. And that was one thing I said, badass. Like, I didn't mind the Beane saying, though. Like, I thought Beane deserved it to stay. But for me, if you fire McDermott, I wanted everybody gone. I didn't want any hangovers. I wanted a fresh start with the coaching staff. They felt differently. Okay. Now, I'll say this, though. Most of the coaching staff, they did bring back some old names, but for the most part, there's a lot of new faces. I'm cool with that. And that's the only reason I think I'm feeling better today than I was when they first hired him, right? But there's a lot of concern. I'm not going to play that down. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, right, where I'm like, I told you one thing 10 days ago whenever we hired him, and now I'm going, no, Joe Brady's the best. I love the Joe Brady hiring. Like, I can't do that, because then you're going to go, Tommy, 10 days ago, you fucking hated the hiring. You came on your live, you said, fucking sucks. What are you doing? Flip-flopping? What the fuck? No, I'm keeping things real, right? I still don't really care for the hire. I like what they're doing with the coaching staff, which makes me feel a little better. But time will tell. I prove me wrong, Brandon Beane, that this was a good hire. That's all. And I hope I'm wrong. And everybody else that didn't like the hire should hope they're wrong. Because at the end of the day, we're Bills fans. We want a Super Bowl. For as much as I did not like McDermott, I wanted a Super Bowl. If we won one with McDermott, fucking great. Like, I'm a team guy. The team is comes first over everything. Beane was promoted mostly because Pegula once stopped being between GM and head coach. Structure was changed. It's no longer GM one-sided, owner, head coach other side. It's now top down. Yeah, I mean, I'm good with that, by the way. I'm good with that. The puppet master is gone. I'm excited. Yep. Brady has hired an excellent staff. Yeah, so real quick, because I'm going to get out of here. I've been on here 2 hours and 30 minutes, guys. And I'm sorry for the guy that sent me the super chat. I don't know if that came in late. But let me hit that train horn, because every super chat gets a train horn. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. I appreciate you. I almost forgot the Bills train horn too, man. But I don't know if that came in late or not, man. I apologize. But I did get to it, man. I hope you, if you're not here anymore, once again, I did get to it. I apologize, man. I really, really do. Carolina owner is far more meddling than Pegula. The team was a train wreck. McDummy meddled in everyone's job. Staff couldn't take a dump without clapping, knowing how long it took. Are you guys saying you're not gonna miss? You're not gonna miss this. You're not gonna miss our guy anymore. Where is it? Oh no! I thought I had it. I don't have it here. Did I delete it? No way. I had McClappy here. And I don't know where it is anymore, guys. That's too bad. I wonder if I was so happy when he got fired, I deleted it. Did I delete it, McClappy? Oh, no, here it is. I knew I had it saved in my file. Look, he's not. Come on, man. Come on, man. Oh, God. You're not going to miss that? You're not going to miss his Gloria Vanderbilt glasses. Pegula is an absent owner. Yeah, I did a really cruel McDermott firing video. I don't know if you guys ever seen that. Do I even have that up still? Where is that? Mikey was like, oh, you're so mean. See if I still have it. Did you guys see that? That I made that little McDermott firing video. Where is that fucking video at? I so want to play it for you guys. Let me see if I have it here. Man, let's see here. Hold on. Is this it? Let me see here. Hold on. Where is that damn video? Hold on, guys. Before I get out of here. Right here. Let's see. Thought I had it. Man, oh man. Do I not have that video up? Oh, good lord. I had it. I have no idea what I did with it. Ah, it's too bad. It was a good one, too. It was a good one. Let me see here. Hold on. Maybe I do have it somewhere. Give me a minute. I can't believe I've been on here 2 hours and fucking half. 2.5 hours. What the fuck, man? Let's see here. Is it on the desktop? Maybe it's on the desktop. Damn, guys, I don't know where it is. I guess I don't have it anymore. I had it. It was funny as shit though. It was a little cruel. It was the him clapping and getting fired at the same time. But I don't know. Don't have it. That blows, man. Anyways, back to the comments, and then I gotta get out of here. Tell me good over here. All right, good. Billy D, what's going on, brother? Thanks for getting. Thanks for letting my old ass talk shit. Great show, go Bills. Hey, man. So for everybody, man, once again, and Badass does before he gets out of here, he wants you to know Pegula sucks as an owner. Billy D agrees. He loves it. All right, guys, I'm out of here, man. I'm fucking tired. It's time for me to eat a pizza, get fatter, just gain more weight. I will be here live for the Super Bowl if you guys want to join me. I know it sucks. We're not in it, of course, but I figured why not. I'll probably have maybe a parlay or two going in that game. Maybe I'll win a bet live. But yeah, we're gonna have to watch a sorry ass Patriots take on the Seahawks. So I'll be here live I believe I go live at 6 o'clock. So Super Bowl starts 6:30. I'll be live at 6. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate the super chats. Appreciate everybody rocking with me for 2 hours and 30 minutes. Bills Mafia, you guys rule. You guys are the best. I'm out of here. Peace. Go Bills. What is it? Just keep them away from an. Later.